Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Crime Talk. My name is Scott Reich. Thanks for watching. You know the drill. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, hit that like button, and don't forget to hit that little bell so you receive notifications of when we put up new content or go live. Like last night, it was our Tuesday night live show. And guess what? We broke news in regards to the Mark Means being disqualified. We explained that order in great detail, and we explained why the judge got it right. It just took 2 years. So if you want to see my analysis, go check out last night's video. And we want to thank you as the year comes to an end. I can't believe the numbers. I was looking at the numbers today. Crime Talk, total views, 42.2 million views, 7.4 million watch time hours, over 201,000 subscribers. Thank you. And guess what? We just hit 577,000 downloads on our podcast. So remember, if you can't watch us, you can always listen to us by downloading us on your favorite podcasting app. So want to say thank you. Today is Wednesday, December 9th, and tomorrow we're going to have some of the best of Crime Talk 2021 videos. And through the weekend, we still have new videos coming out. All right, first on the docket. Well, as we explained in the intro last night, right before we went live, the judge in the Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell case issued an order. And what did that order say? In a nutshell, it was basically that there's a conflict that existed because Mark Means represented both Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. Now, we brought you this video from the beginning that said, when questioned by the court, Mark Means said that he did not represent any of the co-conspirators, even though he had previously represented that he had, in fact, represented Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell.
The amount of resources that can be saved in order to allow that to happen, and given that I represent her husband, Chad Daybell, in the event that there's an issue there.
Mr. Means, have you ever represented any of the alleged co-conspirators that are set forth in the criminal complaint?
No, Your Honor, other than Mrs. Daybell.
Well, we find out that the lower court conducted a hearing but said, well, it's probably a waivable conflict because basically it's not that serious. But now it is serious because the court determined that since this is now a death penalty case, that the court has to intervene. And so they find that, one, that there is a conflict. It's not a waivable conflict. And the second prong of the court order was that basically Mark Means has made himself a witness by filing the crazy motions that he's been filing, representing that he is a eyewitness to these particular events. Everybody knows attorneys can't be a witness in the case that they are representing a client on. And more importantly, and this has got a sting for Mark Means, the court specifically states, Mr. Means' practice of submitting declarations under penalty of perjury have called into question his ability to competently and effectively represent Vallow going forward, despite the pending stay of this case. Ouch. How many people get told by a judge that your ability to competently and effectively represent your client not meeting the level? Ouch. Ouch. So anyway, there was already a hearing scheduled today. We brought it to you live. You can check it out here. And it was a hearing regarding the subpoenas ducis tecum that Mark Means had served basically on the state mental health hospital as well as the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a.k.a. the Mormons. Well, everybody showed up, but Mark Means wasn't there because he's disqualified from doing anything on the case. Lori Vallow's new lead counsel, Mr. Archibald, said, well, I'm ready to go forward, but I think we can probably resolve a lot of these issues without the involvement of the court, which is the way discovery disputes are supposed to take place. You don't run to the court every time there is a little issue. You only go there after you've met and conferred or tried to get the discovery any other way possible. But it sounds like the church wants to cooperate. But one thing was important in this hearing today was that Mr. Archibald said, I hear that Lori Vallow actually watches these hearings at the state hospital, so she may be finding out for the first time that Mark Means is no longer her attorney, and I would like a little time to go down and talk to her about what took place and why that is significant. But he also notes that on the record that his client is suffering from a mental disease. Very significant. So he obviously has reports, so he can state that, but it's very interesting for the attorney to state that, whereas Mr. Means somehow didn't believe that that was accurately stated in some way. So at least Mr. Archibald gets it, and he also understands it's going to take some explaining to his client as to why, I guess, her favorite attorney is no longer there and will not be rejoining the case regardless of what she wants to take place. So go check out both of those videos. Frankly, I think it was pretty interesting as to both the hearing today as well as our analysis last night. And next on the docket, that's right, the Maxwell Verdict Watch, the 6th day of deliberations today. And the jury for Miss Maxwell's child trafficking trial requested testimony from now defense witnesses. Now, remember, normally a jury does not get transcripts in a case because no official transcript can be done that quickly. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure how the official transcripts are being created this quickly. That's got to cost a lot of money for court reporters to be doing that, so they have a basically certified record that's going to the jury. Normally, the jury doesn't get it. Normally, a jury gets an instruction that says you need to rely upon your notes and your collective memory of what witnesses have said. So very unusual. And the jury in this case also inquired about the judge's instructions that the jury will continue to deliberate every day until they reach a verdict. This means that the jury could be spending New Year's Eve and New Year's Day inside the Manhattan U.S. District Courthouse. Now, late afternoon yesterday, the judge indicated that she would urge daily deliberations until the verdict because of an astronomical spike in COVID-19 cases, as this obviously the Omicron variant cases spike in New York City. And the judge said we are simply at a vastly different place regarding the pandemic than we were only a week ago, according to Judge Nathan. And she said they now face a high and daily escalating risk that the jurors are necessary, obviously trial participants, but they may need to quarantine, thus disrupting the trial and putting at risk their ability to complete the trial. So to put simply, they're going to deliberate until they have a verdict. The jurors so far have not indicated that's going to be a problem. And in fact, they actually said that they are in a good place. And the judge clarified that she wasn't rushing them, but take all the time you need, just hurry it up. That's really what she says. And just to note, the jury's been deliberating about 33 hours by the time we put this video out. And like I said, the jury's in a good place. Apparently, they're quite comfortable with their decision-making process, and they will let us know when they are gosh darn good and ready. So just relax, Judge. All right, next, Andrew Cuomo. That's right, the Westchester County District Attorney Miriam Rocha said in a press release that disgraced former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo will not face criminal charges for alleged sexual misconduct that occurred in that particular county. Now, the DA Roach said that while the incidents appear to have occurred, charges won't be pursued because of the statutory requirements of the criminal law of New York. She stated, "Our investigation found credible evidence to conclude that the alleged conduct is in both instances described did occur," and the DA press release said, "However, in both instances, their office has determined that although the allegations and the witnesses were credible and the conduct concerning, we cannot pursue criminal charges due to the statutory requirements of the criminal law of New York." This conclusion is unrelated to the possible civil liability, which is beyond the scope of the district attorney's jurisdiction, which focuses solely on criminal law. The news from Rocha's office comes days after the acting district attorney from Nassau County on Long Island announced that Cuomo would not face criminal charges there either. There, prosecutor Joyce Smith said her office had conducted an exhaustive investigation into a female state trooper's accusations that Cuomo had touched her inappropriately when she was on duty during a 2019 event. Smith said her office found the allegations to be credible, deeply troubling, but not criminal under New York law. Cuomo had denied touching anyone inappropriately and said that if he did do something, it was misinterpreted as unwanted flirtation. As we remember, Cuomo portrayed some of the encounters as misunderstandings attributable to generational or cultural differences, a reference in part to his upbringing in an affectionate Italian family. Well, the DA didn't exactly say what statutory provision that they don't think that it could possibly meet, possibly the portion that it was done for some sort of sexual desire. But it's kind of troubling, you would think, where they find credible evidence that these women feel as though they were sexually assaulted, and yet no charges will be brought. Perhaps Cuomo still has a little more power. Perhaps it's a political thing and they just want it to all go away. And maybe they figure the man had to give up his $5 million book signing deal, so bygones. Maybe they just want to get rid of Cuomo. I would venture to guess if that was you, me, or your family member, you'd be charged. So once again, they wonder why people have mistrust in the justice system when people that were in charge sometimes get a pass on what the everyday citizen would not. Let me know if you think it was the right decision or whether you think Cuomo's getting a pass. All right, more Mom of the Year contestants. They keep rolling in. It's disgusting. So Mom's been charged with a girl's murder. Christy Seipel. She's 35. She reported her 5-year-old daughter, Camry Holland, missing in Columbus on the morning of December 13th at about 6:15 a.m. She allegedly told police that she awoke to find the girl missing and the front door ajar. The little girl's body was found later that same day inside a vacant home in Alabama. Now, Christy was charged this week with her daughter's killing in Columbus, Georgia, on a felony murder charge filed in Alabama. This isn't the first arrest made in connection with Camry's death. Jeremy Williams was arrested 2 weeks ago and charged with the capital murder of the little girl's death. Williams, who allegedly kidnapped a girl, could face the death penalty if convicted. It's not clear exactly what role Seipel had in her daughter's killing. As of now, Williams has not entered a plea, and authorities believe Camry died of asphyxiation and said she'd been sexually assaulted. Now, the child's body was found in a house that Williams had once lived in, and police have confirmed that Williams and Seipel had some sort of previous relationship, but have not detailed the exact nature of the relationship. Camry's father, Corey Holland, said his daughter's mother is a monster. He said in a statement, "We are glad to see that she has been arrested. We are one step closer to justice for Camry. If it's our hope that justice is served, Christy should receive whatever maximum penalty that she can get." We'll have to give her the presumption of innocence, but it doesn't look so good for her, but it's unclear exactly what she actually did in relation to her child's death. Now, let's talk sufficiency of the evidence. Now, it's not uncommon for a defense attorney to make a motion for judgment of acquittal at both the end of the prosecution's case as well at the end of their defense case in chief. They renew that motion for judgment of acquittal, and one of the things they say is that the sufficiency of the evidence, not enough evidence to convict, and the judge always denies that, basically saying, I am not going to substitute my judgment as the 13th juror in this particular case and let the matter go to a jury for their decision. Well, the New Jersey Supreme Court reversed the murder conviction of a New Jersey mother who was charged in her son's killing 23 years after he vanished. That conviction is now vacated. Michelle Ladinsky's murder conviction was vacated by the New Jersey Supreme Court on Tuesday by a vote of 4-3 due to a lack of evidence. Now, Ladinsky's reported her 5-year-old son, Timothy, missing in May of 1991, telling police he had disappeared at a carnival. Some of his remains were found almost a year later, and a medical examiner was not able to determine a cause of death. In August 2014, 23 years after Timmy vanished, Ladinsky was arrested in Florida on a murder charge in connection with the death after a routine cold case review sparked a new investigation into the case. Now, a grand jury charged her and a jury convicted her of murder in 2016, and Ladinsky subsequently filed a motion for reconsideration. Ladinsky never made any incriminating admissions, nor did any forensic evidence tie her to her son's death. Searches of her car, garbage, and house never produced any evidence of guilt, and witnesses said they never saw Ladinsky abuse her son. Now, Justice Barry Albin wrote, even if the evidence suggested that Timmy did not die by accident, no testimony or evidence was offered to distinguish whether Timothy died by the negligent, reckless, or purposeful or knowing acts of a person, even if that person were Ladinsky. No conviction can be founded on speculation or conjecture. We may never know the truth about what happened in this case. The only issue is whether the evidence presented in the light most favorable to the prosecution supports a finding beyond a reasonable doubt that Ladinsky purposely or knowingly caused the death of her son. By that standard, the court concluded, the conviction cannot be sustained. The dissenting justices stated that they considered Ladinsky's acquittal to be unwarranted and unjust, and that it undermines the jury's role at the heart of our criminal justice system. If any reasonable jury could convict a defendant with the evidence viewed and the inferences drawn favorably to the state, appellate judges must respect the verdict no matter how strongly they disagree, the dissenting judges wrote in their dissent. Let me know what you think. I've had the distinct honor, I guess you could say. I lost a case in the military where I represented a guy. It was a small base. Everybody knew he was kind of a dirtbag, not a great Marine. It was a theft case, and he was convicted. I don't think he should have been convicted, but about 6 years later on appeal, the conviction was overturned, and I was declared victorious, as was my client, that there was not enough sufficiency of the evidence. So I didn't know if I should have been excited or disappointed that I lost a case where there wasn't enough evidence for my client to be convicted. Yeah, that's a tough one to handle. But at least it was done. Let me know if you think it was appropriate in this case. All right, if somebody does this, they deserve to be the dumb criminal of the day. All right, now there's a screenshot from an Internal Revenue Service that's gotten a lot of attention on social media, and some are questioning whether it's real or not. The quote states, the IRS writes, income from illegal activities such as money from dealing illegal drugs must be included in your income from Schedule 1 or in your Schedule C if you are self-employed activity, if you're engaging in self-employment activity. The next section regarding stolen property reads, if you steal property, you must report its fair market value on your income in the year you steal it unless you return it to this rightful owner in the same year. Let's see if we can get some dumb criminals out of this, okay? I'm serious. This is actually real, okay? This provision was put into the IRS tax code basically for illegal activity that you didn't pay your taxes. This is how they got Al Capone. That's right. However, most criminals are not going to report their ill-gotten gains on their taxes. Well, because most of them probably don't file taxes anyway, because most of them don't have jobs that get W-2s and what have you. So I don't think a whole lot of people are going to do that. But if you know of somebody that does report the ill-gotten gains regarding items they've stolen on their taxes, let me know. We are going to buy them the biggest steak dinner as the dumb criminal of the year. That's right. Okay, the blue pill defense. I can see it coming. An 80-year-old Italian man allegedly killed his 61-year-old wife in a jealous rage when she refused to have sex with him after he had already swallowed a little blue pill. Now, Vito Cangini told police he fatally stabbed his Ukrainian wife, Natalie, between Christmas Day and Sunday. Now, the elderly man said he had taken the erectile dysfunction pill when his wife had promised to go to bed with him, but things turned very dark after she told him she had changed her mind. Now, a major fight broke out, and Cangini accused her of being interested in her boss. He then allegedly stabbed her, left her body on the floor, and went to sleep. He woke up the next morning as if nothing had happened. He went on about his day, walked the dogs, ate breakfast, all the normal stuff in his routine. Then in the afternoon, he confessed to a neighbor about what had gone on the night prior and asked the man to call the police. Not surprisingly, the neighbor said he wanted no part of this and told Cangini to call the police himself. Cangini also confessed to a woman who called the house asking to speak with his wife. She also declined, possibly because she didn't believe him. So Cangini called the restaurant his murdered wife had worked as a chef for the last 2 years and confessed to the owner. The owner replied, "I knew there was something going on between you two. The owner called the police, who found the woman's body. She'd been stabbed at least 4 times and once in the heart. Police found the murder weapon at the scene, and the old man was arrested. Now, I don't know about Italian law, but I guess you have to wait and see if the blue pill defense is going to work. But, Your Honor, I'd already taken the blue pill. Wow. Can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. Can't make this stuff up. All right, so this is what you do when a sex offender is in your house uninvited, alone with your daughter. A Tennessee mother chased off a sex offender who had reportedly broken into her home. Daphne Crowley said she chased him with sticks and said if she got a hold of him, she was going to beat him using the sticks. Now, Crowley said she returned home to her apartment in Knoxville and saw a naked man inside wearing only a pair of her daughter's shoes. She told her daughter to call 911 while she chased the sex offender out of the apartment and down the street. Now, officers were able to find the suspect, and he was identified as 27-year-old Michael Tyler Henniger, hiding in the woods near Crowley's apartment. On him, Henniger's had Crowley's grandchild's toothbrush and toothpaste, as well as an impact drill. Crowley believes that this isn't the first time the sex offender had broken into her home, because she said she had noticed that these items have been missing recently. Henniger was charged with aggravated burglary. Henniger was wanted by the Knox County Sheriff's Office at the time of his arrest for violating his sex offender registry supervision and failure to appear regarding a violation of his sex offender registry. Now, the mother says she thinks he broke through a patio door and the grandchild had left open and plans to install a security system. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, it goes to the mirror. You have to be prepared to protect yourself, whether it's a home security system or using sticks. All right. 911 isn't going to be there for several minutes. So you have to be prepared to take care of yourself, and you have to be able to check people out and make sure they're not bad people. We'll take a quick recess. Please go to crimetalksearch.com, sign up for a background subscription service. You'll be happy you did. If there's anyone out there you were ever curious about what was in their background, now is the time to do it. If you're going to get involved with somebody, now is the time to do it. When you go to crimetalksearch.com, you put in the name, literally millions of public records are searched, and a report is generated. And it's going to give you a report. If they have multiple social media accounts, you're going to find it. If they have multiple phone numbers, multiple email addresses, it's going to be found. And more importantly, you're going to get information regarding criminal history. Hopefully the person you're searching has none whatsoever. But if it's there, it's going to be found. You're going to get everything you'd want to know, whether you're going into business or whether you're going into a personal relationship. You're going to be able to find out the information you want to know. So go to crimetalksearch.com, sign up today. You'll be happy you did. And finally, our dumb criminal of the day. Bahram Garani was working as an auto repair tech for the Boston Police Department when he stole over $260,000 worth of parts, tools, and supplies from the police department. Now, Garani was in charge of ordering parts and supplies to maintain the police department's vehicles and allegedly ordered a few extra parts with the intent of reselling them. His scheme lasted over 3 years before he was ultimately detected, and he was arrested and pled guilty to 2 counts of theft and fraud. Wow. You know things are bad when the people that work at the police department are stealing from the police department because they think they're not going to get caught. Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. Like I said, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button. Leave me a comment, and we will see you next time on Crime Talk. Happy New Year.